श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभत्वं सदैव श्रीदत्तास्मान् पाहि देवाधिदेव भावग्राह्य क्लेशहारिं सुकीर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। त्वं नो माता त्वं पिता प्तोऽधिपस्त्वं त्राता योग क्षेमकृत् सद्गुरुस्त्वं त्वं सर्वस्वं नो प्रभो विश्वमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। पापं तापं व्याधिमादिं च दैन्यं भीतिं क्लेशं त्वं हराशुत्वदन्यम् त्रातारन्नो वीक्ष ईशास्त्रजूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। नान्यस्त्राता न पिता न भर्ता त्वत्तो देव त्वं शरण्योकहर्ता कुर्वात्रेयानुग्रहं पूर्णराते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। धर्मे प्रीतिं सन्मतिं देवभक्तिं सत्सङ्गाप्तिं देहि भुक्तिं च मुक्तिं भावासक्तिं चाखिलानन्दमूर्ते घोरात् कष्टात् उद्धरास्मान् नमस्ते। श्लोकपञ्चकमेतद्यो लोकमङ्गलवर्धनम् प्रपठेन्नियतो भक्त्या श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत् श्रीदत्तप्रियो भवेत्। श्रीपादराजं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीपाद श्रीवल्लभ चरितामृतम् Chapter 21 Visit of Dandiswami to the Kukkuteshwara temple. Necessity of purity of place and feeling for spiritual aspirants. In compliance with the orders of Sri Mahaguru, I, along with Gurucharan, started on a visit to Manchala village. On the way, we were talking about the sportive place of Sri Sreepada. I learnt many matters relating to spiritual education from Sri Gurucharan. I asked Sri Gurucharan, Sir, Sri Sreepada said that a person having trait of sage Vasistha would come to his samsthana as a priest. Who is that very fortunate one? During which time he comes? Then Gurucharan said, Shankara Bhatta, he declared that after many centuries, a great samsthana would be established in his name at his native place. It is the will of Sripada that some great hermit would come to his Maha Samsthana as a priest. Without the divine will, great sages will not arrive. Meditation for long periods, worship, chanting of holy sacred mantras, procedure of adoration with devotion and diligence purify the airy region there. Waves of ideas are broadcast from all the 10 directions in the internal universe. People with sacred feelings accept sacred vibrations. People with impure feelings receive impure vibrations. A particular place attracts effortlessly through many wonderful ways great persons by touching their mental consciousness when the waves of ideas in that spot become extremely powerful. On the other hand, if in a place bad waves of ideas are prevalent, it will attract bad people to it by touching their mental consciousness in many strange ways. Therefore, a spiritual seeker should reside in areas having purity of place. He should have purity of mind. He should have friendship only with such people. He should accept money or food only from those who have purity of money. Those who arrogated as great scholars in Vedas and Vedanta could not obtain the grace of Sri Sreepada. Scholars with moderate accomplishments, having unblemished minds, gained extraordinary benefits from him. I went to the great holy place Jagannatha Puri in Orissa for business. I found there Sri Sreepada in place of Jagannatha. There were 3 or 4 devotees of Sripada. He gave them darshana in the forms of their chosen deities and at once appeared to them as Sripada. He taught them through silence that he is the embodiment of all the forms of deities. Destroying the pride of a Dandiswami. On the day we went, a Dandiswami, accompanied by his 108 disciples, came there. It was our habit to salute to the feet of great persons when we meet them. As soon as we saluted, Dandiswami lost his speech. We prayed to Sripada Srivallabha to grant speech again to the Dandiswami. Dandiswami regained his speech immediately. When they knew that we were the disciples of Sri Sreepada, those people started to argue with ill-conceived logic. The person known as Sripada is a low-class magician. These persons who are his disciples are also low-grade magicians. With their debased magic, they deprived speech to our Dandiswami. But because our Swamiji is very powerful, he regained health. Our Swamiji will expose the real nature of your Sripada. Our great Swamiji will visit Pitikapuram and receive victory testimonials after making Sripada suck dust. The people of Pithikapura village will arrange us a grand victory ride on a chariot. We could not reply. As a part of divine sport of Sri Sreepada, the dependent will be thrown into very critical conditions, and when he cries for rescue, he will be rescued in a very strange way. That was his habit of saving devotees. He is the one who creates the problem. He is the one who shows a solution and renders help. This sort of divine play is experienced by all Datta devotees. After some days, the Dandiswami came to Pithigapuram. Fortunately, I also came to Pithigapuram, which was on the way of my journey. There was no dearth of people whose nature was to emit hatred and poison towards Sri Bapanarya, Sri Appalaraja Sharma, and Sri Sreepada. Dandiswami visited the deities in the Kukkuteshwara temple. They saw self-existent Datta also. Dandiswami said, "The greatness of the self-existent Datta who is here is unbounded. The self-manifested Datta made me an instrument to snub the arrogance of Sripada, who is puffed up with pride, declaring that he is an incarnation of that Datta. Good days started in Pithigapuram from today. You remain carefree." Saying so, he created vibhuti, kunkuma, and other materials by his willpower and gave them to his followers. The Brahmins of Pithigapuram went to Kukkuteshwara temple to bring Dandiswami amid chanting of Vedas. A public announcement was made in the town by the beat of tom-tom. Sripada, who is styling himself as an incarnation of Datta, should realize his mistake and prostrate before Dandiswami. Sri Bapanarya should personally present himself before Dandiswami and beg for pardon. Sri Appalaraja Sharma should attend before Dandiswami and hand over the statue of Kalagni Shamana Datta, which he was worshipping in the family through successive generations. He should submit himself to the punishment to be imposed by Swamiji. The Arya Vaishya Parishad met under the presidentship of Sri Painda Venkatappaya Shreshthi. They resolved that either Sri Sreepada or Sri Appalaraja Sharma or Bapanarya should not bow down to Dandiswami, and such misdeeds should not be supported. The assembly of Kshatriyas, which was held under the presidentship of Sri Narasimhavarma, passed a similar resolution. Sri Sreepada rested under the shade of Audumbara tree in the house of his maternal grandfather. Sri Shreshthi, who looked at his face radiating divine brilliance, was shedding tears from heavy grief. Sri Narasimhavarma, Sri Shreshthi, and Bapanarya sat silently near Sri Sreepada. Appalaraja Sharma sat motionless like a lunatic. Sri Sreepada, who is an equal to Sri Krishna, woke up from sleep and said that he was hungry and that he would eat curd rice. His maternal grandmother brought in a silver bowl rice mixed with curd. Sripada ate it with great haste. Sri Sreepada asked his grandfather to recite Vedas. Appalaraja Sharma also participated in that Vedic recital. Sri Sreepada also joined them and was chanting Vedic hymns. Narasimhavarma and Sri Shreshthi were listening to that melodious sacred Vedic hymns with profound delight. In Kukkuteshwara temple, lumps of curd rice appeared on the face of self-manifested Datta. When the priest was cleaning them away, they were again appearing. It was strange that the statue of self-manifested Datta exhibited such miracle. Dandiswami, with his disciples and the new disciples in Pitikapuram, started from there amid loud chanting of Vedas. They were going step by step, but the earth appeared to them as expanding. For the onlookers, they looked like moving their legs, but remained static, unable to move forward. With this sort of peculiar feats, much time elapsed. Seeing this wonder, all people were amazed. In the meanwhile, the Brahmadanda, that is the staff carried by ascetics, broke into two pieces. Dandiswami felt as if his spine was broken into two. He fell flat on the floor. This incident struck awe in the Brahmins of Pitikapuram. They realized that Sri Sreepada was more powerful than Dandiswami, and harboring enmity towards Sri Sreepada would land them in troubles. Albeit they were not knowing how to leave that place and reach their homes. Moksha comes from the destruction of Moha. There was one Abbanna in Pitikapuram. He was making a living by catching snakes and displaying them to the public. He came to the house of Bapanarya playing the magic of snakes. Sri Sreepada asked a Vedic recital to be stopped. Abbanna was fed to his full contentment. Sri Sreepada called Abbanna and instructed him, "You take your pot completely filled with water from here and go to Kukkuteshwara temple. When the incarnation of Lord Datta with hands, feet and other limbs is moving in Pitikapuram, some great sinners who for no reason abused him are in the Kukkuteshwara temple." Chitragupta decided that they should take the birth of ghosts after death. I spoke to Chitragupta and worked out a method to nullify that sin. Mother Earth is also enraged. You go there and request her as my word to become calm. If those who want to have the darshana of Sripada express their consent, sprinkle this water on them. Go to the house of Madhika, that is the cobbler caste, Subbaya, and take him with you. Take out the curd rice from his pot and distribute it to all as Maha Prasada. Abbanna and Subbaya went there and brought all of them to the house of Bapanarya. Sri Sreepada, in a furious form, thundered, "You! How much proud you are that you are a Dandiswami! You are an incorrigible idiot who cannot recognize Datta whom you adore and who is in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. You are having a group of disciples with you who suit you like Ganthakuttaggabonta, that is a miscellany patch suited to a quilt of motley patchwork. They match you in foolishness. There is a new set of disciples gathered in Pitikapuram. What can you do to me? What is your existence before the sole power that rules all the creation? What is your capacity? A great sin caught you and all those who depend on you because of the abuse of divinity. Chitragupta decided that all of you should live like ghosts for many hundreds of years. Because of my unstinted compassion, I cancelled it. It was resolved that you should face difficulties in very low births even after taking human birth. I withdrew it also with a very small amount of punishment. The form of Sripada Srivallabha is like a blazing fire. Playing with fire will lead to accidents. Think what is salvation when myself and my Maya are indivisible. Moksha is destruction of Moha. If any living person desires to experience the form of true bliss, I myself will grant it if he deserves it. It will also be granted if he wants to remain as an embodiment of happiness in an exalted state of heavenly bliss, transcending Maya. In my view, there is no difference between the attributeless one without a form and the one with a form having attributes, between liberation and bondage. Every moment, countless new worlds are created, maintained, and destroyed. There are no limits or bounds to the supreme states or superb happy states of existence to be attained by living persons. Those who want to come to me after death will definitely come. My will decides as to how many hundreds of divine years they have to remain in those states and when they should be sent back. I, a director of a cunning drama, am at present in the shape of a man before you. You are seeing me. I came down from that highly elevated position as a human being to tell you that even in formless state also, I will be always looking after you. The yogic powers of great yogis must be employed for the welfare of the world. World does not mean only this earth. It is your duty to help the helpless people who are in a lower position to you. I am incarnated to preach the paths of dharma, karma, yoga, bhakti and jnana. I am the sole truth, the origin of all truths. I am the sole dharma. I am the origin of all dharmas. I am the single cause creating all causes. Nothing is to be formed in this creation which is not in my will. Without me, there is no creation. Because I am here, you are here, so also the creation. How can truth be told more than this? Go to Himalayas and undertake penance without any attachment. Don't collect disciples. Even if you won't get liberation or upliftment, no loss is there to me or to the creation. The activities in the creation will be carried out as required. This is the real matter. The procession of the Brahmins in Pitikapuram following you is like the opera of donkeys in the marriage of camels. While the donkeys are praising the beauty of camels, camels are praising the melodious music of the donkeys. Even though they are indulging in mutual admiration, reality remained as something different. Sripada made this beneficial preaching. Relationship between Arundathi and Vasistha. I asked Gurucharan, I heard Mother Arundathi was born in the caste of Parayas. How did she marry sage Vasistha? Then Gurucharan narrated the episode. In ancient days, Vasistha did penance for 1,000 years. At that time, one Paraya girl named Akshamala served Vasistha in ways permissible for her. That sage, who was pleased, asked her to request for any boon. She requested Vasistha to be her husband. Vasistha questioned, I am a Brahmin and you are a Paraya woman. How can the marital connection between us be proper? Then she replied, You asked me to request for a boon. I requested. If you want, give me the boon. If not, permit me to leave. Then the sage, who was afraid of breaking a promise, asked her if she agreed to meddle with her body as he pleased. She agreed. That sage reduced her to ashes and again brought her to life. He did like this for 7 times. As all the impurities of the low caste birth were purged in the 7th birth, she became extremely pure. Then Vasistha married her. As she did not obstruct even slightly the rituals conducted by her husband, she became famous under the name of Arundathi. Sripada told this matter during conversation to Narasimha Varma, who hailed in the lineage of Vasistha. A person born to a Shudra lady through a Brahmin can be converted as a Brahmin in his 7th birth by the investiture of holy thread. It is better that all the 4 castes follow their respective duties according to the divisions ordained. On account of bad actions, a Brahmin may gradually fall down and turn into a Shudra. A Shudra, by performing good deeds, may gradually rise up and become a Brahmin. However, those who repose unshakable faith in Lord Datta achieve exalted positions quickly according to their eligibility. Lord Datta can grant longevity, health, and wealth required for a comfortable life to his devotee, irrespective of the caste in which he was born or the conditions under which he lives. It is a natural play for Sri Sreepada to cut as under bonds of karma of many births and accord an elevated position to his devotee. The assurance of Sri Sreepada to Datta devotees. We reached Manchala village speaking among ourselves about the glory of Sri Sreepada. The village goddess of Manchala granted us divine darshana and made us fortunate. She fed prasada to us with her holy hands and remarked, Shri Dattatreya, who preached as preceptor to Prahalada in ancient times, is today living on the earth in the form of Sripada Srivallabha. The will of Sri Sreepada cannot be comprehended. Sri Sreepada personally told me that in the coming centuries, Prahlada will incarnate as Guru Sarvabhauma, and that this place will become famous as Mantralaya. He daily takes the water of Tungabhadra river. May you have auspicious developments. Saying so, she changed into her former form. When we were about to move, a Maladasari, that is a Paraya mendicant who is a worshipper of Vishnu named Krishnadasa, came there. The village goddess of Manchala gave prasada to Krishnadasa and gave him a flower garland as a token of her grace and instructed him to go to Kurugadde. All 3 of us travelled to Kurugadde. All Datta devotees belong to one caste. The prasada of Lord Datta is acceptable to them without regard to the caste to which the person offering the prasada belongs. The association of Krishnadasa with us infused new enthusiasm. During our conversation, Krishnadasa said, if it is known about the significance of different numbers, 16, 116 and 1116 offered as dakshinas, the meaning of 2498 number of Sri Sreepada will be understood. Just as world is emerging from Atma, children are born from the father. At the time of marriage, the bridegroom prayed to fire god, Oh Agnihotra, Grant me birth of 10 children in this bride. He is becoming the 11th child. So, to beget 10 children is approved according to dharma. Afterwards, his wife has to be regarded as a mother. A son is 1/10 part of the father. When 10 people having a decimal value each are put together, a full numbered father is formed. As Shiva is personification of Atma, he is Paripurna, that is a perfect person. When the 16 decimals are divided by 10, the full number 1 will arrive. It represents Shiva. 6 remains as the reminder. Vishnu is the personification of original nature with the form of Maya. Nature is half of Purusha. So, half of 10 is 5. And when the above reminder 6 is divided by 5, the full number 1 is arrived as representing Vishnu. But one decimal, that is Dashamsha, is left as the reminder. Brahma is 1/10 of the fraction of Shiva and Vishnu, that is Purusha and Prakriti, as their offspring. So, when the above reminder 1 is divided by 1, the full number 1 representing Brahma came as a result. No reminder was left. Purnam means 0. It is attributeless, and so it is the form of Rudra. When everything is liquidated, only the great vacuum is seen. Only in the great vacuum it is possible to liquidate everything, but the form of Vishnu has the characteristic of infinity. In the nature of the existence of creation, infinity is unavoidable. Sri Sreepada is resplendent with 16 degrees of brilliant potency. My boy, Shankara Bhatta, when an article is divided into countless fragments, each fragment becomes a void. Only when such voids are assembled endlessly, a limited shape is formed. Therefore, know that both Shiva and Keshava are not different. In the above decimal division, in the remaining 6 decimal positions, after division by 10, the sum total of 5 decimal figures was taken as representing Vishnu. All the creation made up of 5 elements is taken as the form of Vishnu. Vishnu told Veerabhadra, who destroyed the Daksha Yajna, the fundamental nature assumed the form of Parvati for the enjoyment of Ishvara, the form of Durga at the time of battle with demons, as Kalika Devi in her angry mood, in the guise of a male as my form of Veerabhadra. The underlying idea is only this in telling that Sri Sreepada is Shodashakala Paripurna. That is a perfect, complete embodiment of 16 degrees of brilliant potencies. In that age of 16 years only, he left Pitikapuram. As he is an embodiment of Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, it should be known that he is a Shodashakala Paripurna. Different forms of deities. As Vishnu is the embodiment of nature, 5 decimal points represent Vishnu. As Brahma is the son from the yogic union of Parvati and Parameshwara, his is 1/10 form of Shiva. The reason is very clear. Shiva, who is the form of consciousness, is important. As the form of Vishnu represents the illusory universe, it is unimportant. Therefore, Brahma is 1/10th part of Shiva. Number 1 stands for this 10 Dashamsha Rupa Brahma. This single digit is spread in numbers 2 to 9 in the Ashtamurtis. So, Brahma got the shape of Nava Prajapati, that is the 9th Prajapati. In the three numbers 16, 100 and 1000, the last two numbers were specially calculated, and 16, when linked with them, they became 116 and 1116. When they were divided by 10, they represent different groups of articles. The complete number 1 represents Rudra. The two full numbers 11 stands for Vishnu. The three full numbers 111 represent Brahma. 16, 116 and 1116 are called Shodashadi Tridakshina. That is, three types of monetary gifts having 16 as an integral number. It was said that those who donate Tridakshina got Brahmajnana. It amounts to donating body, money and mind when the three types of dakshinas are made. When money equivalent to those above figures is donated, the donor would derive the result of gifting the entire world. Pindanda Dana, that is donating the body, represents world. The shape of one body is constituted of three sacrifices. Sacrifice in the early morning, midday sacrifice, and the third sacrifice of Gayatri, Trishtup, and Jagati Chandas, that is prosody, are having specific number of letters as required by the representative Chandas. It means that Gayatri having 24 letters, Trishtup 44 letters, and Jagati 48 letters, the sum total of these comes to 116 letters. Therefore, by the Pindanda Dana, that is the gift of body, the above result from the monetary donation is also derived. The incarnation of Sripada is the result of Savitrikataka sacrifice. It is the brilliant light residing in the middle of the region of sun, that is Savitra Mandala Madhyavarti, which prompts all intellectual traits. That is Mother Gayatri. She represents number 24. Number 9 is the form of Brahma, and number 8 is the form of Maya. Sage Bharadwaja conducted Savitrikataka Chayanam in Treta Yuga in Pitikapuram. In accordance with the promise made on that day, it is born today in the shape of Sripada Srivallabha. He was seeking alms, calling Do Chaupati Dev Lakshmi, indicating that he is the form of Shakti and the form of Shakta, having Ardhanarishwara personality, and that he is the great incarnation provoking the intellect and natures of the living beings to put them on a righteous path. No one knows his sportive pastimes and the grammar of his teaching methods. As he is the author of this new grammar, it is known only to him. I heard so many things from Krishnadasa. I know many more new things. Those who have arrogance arising from scholarship can never receive the grace of Sri Sreepada. Krishnadasa was telling like this: Sri Sreepada spreads from an ant to a Brahma. Once Sri Varma was taking rest in his fields along with Sri Sreepada. Many cobras came there. Sri Sreepada strangely removed the hood of each cobra from its body. He threw all of them into many heaps on one side. Sri Varma was sleeping. Many ants, which were not seen or heard before, gathered there. Sri Sreepada killed all those ants so that the sleep of Sri Varma was not disturbed. Sri Varma woke up after some time. He pitied the ants which lay dead. Sri Sreepada said with a smile, "A king should save his servant. This is a regulation of nature. There is a strange king to these strange ants. He is coming soon. Look." In the meantime, a big white ant came with strange color. It went around all the dead ants. All the dead ants came to life. Sri Sreepada with a smile said, "This ant king has the power of Sanjeevini." With that power, it rescued all its ants. Many such wonders are in the creation. Grand old father, if you wish, I can show such miracles every moment. Narasimhavarma was astonished on seeing the dead snakes. He noticed that it was also work of Sri Sreepada. Then Sri Sreepada joined the hood of one cobra to the body of another cobra and stroked it with his divine hand. Like that, he granted life to all cobras. They came back to life and left after circumambulating Sri Sreepada. Who knows why those cobras came and why Sri Sreepada treated them like that? When I inquired from Sri Sreepada about this matter, he observed, when the strength of Rahu planet is not adequate, people will face obstacles in all their work. They experience as if they are in the firm grip of a python. This is called by some as Kala Sarpa Yoga. Rahu is the presiding deity of serpents. These serpents causing such obstructions are somewhere unseen by our eyes. I remedy this malefic effect like this and bring comfort and happiness to my devotees. We reached Kurugadde safely. Sri Sreepada blessed us with a charming smile. Victory! Victory to Sri Sreepada Srivallabha! Here ends the 21st chapter of Sripada Srivallabha Charitaamritham.
Datta gurudevana nene jeeva. Datta gurudevana nene jeeva. Sharanara duritava nashisuva. Datta gurudevana nene jeeva. Sharanara duritava nashisuva. Datta gurudevana nene jeeva. Eka bhavadi pujisune dinanaguta sevisuni. Eka bhavadi pujisune dinanaguta sevisuni. Eka bhavadi pujisuni ಸಾಗುತ್ತ ಸೇವಿಸುನಿ ಆಶಯ ನೀಗಿ ಪಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗಿ ಆಶಯ ನೀಗಿ ಪಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗಿ ಬರುವಗೆ ಕರೆವನು ತಾನಾಗಿ ಆಶಯ ನೀಗಿ ಪಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಗಿ ಬರುವಗೆ ಕರೆವನು ತಾನಾಗಿ ದತ್ತ ಗುರುದೇವನ ನೆನೆ ಜೀವ ಶರಣರ ದುರಿತವ ನಾಶಿಸುವ ದತ್ತ ಗುರು ದೇವನ ನೆನೆ ಜೀವ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯು ಭಜಕನಿಗೆ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ದಾಸನಿಗೆ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಯು ಭಜಕನಿಗೆ ಬಂಧು ಬಳಗವು ದಾಸನಿಗೆ ದಾರಿಯ ತೋರಿ ನೀಡುವೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ದಾರಿಯ ತೋರಿ ನೀಡುವೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಕರೆಯಲು ಬರುವನು ತಾನಾಗಿ ದಾರಿಯ ತೋರಿ ನೀಡುವೆ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಕರೆಯಲು ಬರುವನು ತಾನಾಗಿ ದತ್ತ ಗುರುದೇವನ ನೆನೆ ಜೀವ ಶರಣರ ದುರಿತವ ನಾಶಿಸುವ ದತ್ತ ಗುರುದೇವನ ನೆನೆ ಜೀವ ಪಾಪ ತಾಪವ ದೂರಿಸುವ ಬೇಗ ಬಂಧನ ದಾಟಿಸುವ ಪಾಪ ತಾಪವ ದೂರಿಸುವ ಬೇಗ ಬಂಧನ ದಾಟಿಸುವ ಭಜಕರ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಕಾಯುವ ಜೀಯ ಭಜಕರ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಕಾಯುವ ಜೀಯ ಭಜಕರ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಕಾಯುವ ಜೀಯ ಪೊರೆಯಲು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಪೆ ಅತ್ರಿತನಯ ಭಜಕರ ಪ್ರಿಯ ಕಾಯುವ ಜೀಯ ಪೊರೆಯಲು ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥಿಪೆ ಅತ್ರಿತನಯ ದತ್ತ ಗುರು ದೇವನ ನೆನೆ ಜೀವ ಶರಣರ ದುರಿತ